Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Got a pretty interesting show for you here today. Gonna have former University of North Florida women's head basketball coach Darrick Gibbs on, and we're gonna talk some women's college basketball. This is something I don't talk about a whole lot, but this season has been crazy and it's been really interesting to me, and I definitely wanted to get the opinion and get the thoughts of somebody who's been boots on ground with that, and he's a guy I admire a great deal. So we're gonna do that. But before we do, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in the Format Podcast. We should come right up, and make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're sharing the podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you're also giving us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And make sure you're aware. Make sure you put it on your phone. Make sure you put it on your calendar. Make sure you remember tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Saturday night, we got the live show and we're going to talk some sports. My man G's going to come back to join me, so can't wait to do that. And, of course, we're going to open up the phone line so that you guys can call in and interact with me directly. All right. So then we also talked about Angel Reese. And as you mentioned, Angel Reese, it's possible that she and Caitlin Clark, maybe they could be that kind of rivalry, the magic bird type thing that ignites the WNBA to the next level in terms of their growth and their popularity, because she is a dog herself. Now, she's not going to come across and pull it from the logo like Caitlin Clark will, but she's going to get busy. She's going to hit the glass. She's going to defend. She's going to rebound. She's going to score inside. She is a baller, but I think that's probably the B more in her. But yeah, she gets out there. She hoops. So, I mean, tell me about Angel Reese, and if you had to scout against her and prepare a game plan, what you think about that?
She's tough, man. I think the other side of it with her is she's extended her range a little bit this year. Okay. You know, something she's impressive, man. Her ability to affect the game. You know, the one thing that always translates, like as coaches and evaluators, when we recruit, we go out and we look for players, we look for things. And the big thing you want to know is how is this skill going to translate to this level? Like, that's the thing with Caitlin Clark, going back, like her skill and how she scores will translate to the next level. Like the skill that Angel has that will always translate is her rebounding. Like, the ball gravitates to her. She always finds a way to get it in her hands and make plays around the rim. You know, and I've always been a proponent of, if you want to win, you got to find a way to get the ball. Like, because obviously you want to score it, you got to get it to score it. And she's one of those kids that just finds a way to get the ball. Ball gravitates to her, and it makes her really, really special. And then her ability to face up and shoot it, get to the rim, and just the physicality and toughness and competitiveness that she plays with, like, that's what separates her. And so, yes, you're right. That's a rivalry that's developed in the college rank. I was just looking just now to see when and if they could match up in the NCAA tournament based on bracketology and how it's played out. And I want to say, if I'm looking at this right, it would be a Final Four matchup.
Of course,
if they were to meet based on how the brackets are aligned right now.
Yeah, I haven't taken a look yet.
Imagine that game in the Final Four with an opportunity to go play in the national championship.
That's right.
That would be pretty cool. So, you know, and get a lot of headlines and that type deal. So, you know, that's what we need. That's what we need. You know, it was great. I know it was somewhat controversial last tournament with all the stuff that was going on, but guess what? They're talking about women's basketball.
That's right.
They're talking about women's basketball. Hopefully more positive than negative. Yeah. In that scenario, I think it was a lot more positive, but they're talking about the game. They're talking about our players. They're bringing attention to our players. You know, you got people that have never watched a game before hearing about it and being like, you know what, LSU's playing. I want to see who this Angel Reese, person is. I've never watched a game in my life. And that's their opportunity to grab hold of that person and bring them into our sport. And I think we're getting more and more opportunities to do that.